talk about this morning is just to put on a few points around how we at TD are approaching innovation. And by the way, I'm going to talk about innovation in our space. There's innovation happening, obviously, all over the organization, and there's technology innovation, there's run the business type of innovation, but you'll hear it from a contact center type of environment. So we are the federated model center of excellence, whatever terminology you want to use for the contact centers. And our approach to innovation has been what I would say sort of compartmentalize it into two buckets. There's big I innovation. You're going to hear me spend most of my time talking about small I innovation, because the big I innovation is we're going to do large transformational projects. In many cases, they are technology led. It could be $50 million. It could be $300 million. That's not the piece that I'll spend my time on, because I don't get to write those checks anyways. What I'm going to spend the time on, because I actually think it's more exciting, is what we would call the small I innovation. And that's, I think, where we're making great progress. Quick, when we say small I, in terms of budget, it could be, let's say, less than $2 million. But it also could be, we saw a really, really interesting, and I'll do a bit of storytelling later, but we saw a really, really interesting project this summer with one of our summer intern students that is big customer impact, and it cost us $10,000. So this whole idea of talking to your people and getting those ideas, I love the 53-year tenured story, because everybody can be innovative. I will declare I'm not wired that way. If you want me to change the bank from an innovation point of view, probably not the best bet to make, but are you surrounding yourself with people that will bring those ideas forward? And then you, or me in my role, can we facilitate and create the organizational awareness? But one of the best stories was this, we talk about innovation and we think we're going to be a disruptor, we're going to turn our organization upside down, or we'll be that Uber. That's not what we're talking about necessarily, right? Especially, no different than CIBC Mellon, TD Bank, like our customers wouldn't want us to do this, right? You've got 5, 6, however way you want to measure major banks in Canada, no one's expecting us to do this, right? It would send shock to the system. But when a student who's employed with you for the summer can actually say, hey, I have an idea, and you go, interesting. When a student can say, we have an idea, I'd love to work on it, and it's like $10,000 and it impacts customer facing situations, you just love those stories. So for us, small I innovation is a lot of it comes from ideas. And so just a couple other things, we talk about ideas and, where do they come from? Within our team, and probably one of the most exciting spots within my role, having come into this role now a couple of years ago, is we actually have a bi-weekly innovation meeting. So, for the most part, it does happen every 2 weeks, and that's where the ideas get tabled. And the ideas at the table and the ideas at the end of the day, as you all would expect, are never really the same, but it actually forces us to come to the table. And in some cases, we want to try to solve for a complex problem. In other cases, we're just there to learn and understand, and then people will poke around and ask questions. But without that forum, I think we would get so stuck in our BAU environment that we wouldn't be able to create that 60 minutes every 2 weeks to just say, what is going on out there? So, when people say, well, we're not Uber. Yeah, we're not. But is there anything they're doing that actually makes sense from a bank or a contact center perspective? And if you actually think about some of the things that are happening, you do sort of leverage those capabilities and bring them into the banking space.